Right now, Bitcoin is exactly repeating history. We're actually pumping and we're creating a very interesting pattern that I need to be talking about on today's update video. And we need to be looking at if this hump is going to be sustainable or are we going to be seeing something else happen. We still have a CME gap below us, so we need to be talking about what's going to be happening next, what's likely to be the next move for Bitcoin, and what's the relevant scenarios that's going to be happening in a longer time frame also. Not only am I going to be talking about Bitcoin, but I'm also going to be covering Ethereum. We're going to be looking at all the relevant levels also, and we're going to be seeing what's going to be happening for that longer time frame too, and we're going to be coming to a conclusion by the end of the video. So let's not waste any more time and let's get straight away into this banger. Bow. So looking at that short-term price action for Bitcoin, you can see right now that we're actually creating a very interesting pattern that we've seen before. So we've seen this pattern happen in 2024, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. And we've seen a low, a lower low, we've seen a higher low and a continuation towards the upside. And that's exactly what Bitcoin's actually repeating right now. So you can see that this is showing that potentially the same thing is going to be happening. We're going to be moving towards the upside aggressively. And the fact that we're actually creating this pattern at the same time, so this happened around October here, and right now it's October, so it's actually very, very interesting. It's telling us that the seasonality is playing out and things may get very interesting as we actually decide to actually pick a direction for Bitcoin. And the most likely direction, looking at this pattern, is going to be towards the upside, which is looking very, very good. But one cause of concern is going to be the CME gap. We have a CME gap at 110k and it's yet to be filled. So the majority of CME gaps, about 95%, tend to get filled. But we can actually go back in history and actually look if this is going to be happening. You know, what other cases where we did not fill our CME gap straight away can we actually look at? And you can see already, if you look very closely at the price action, you can see that we had a CME gap in November of 2024 and we didn't actually fill that gap all the way until February. So it's likely that if we continue towards the upside aggressively, we may actually hit a different price target, and then later on we may actually come and fill that gap. So this is one scenario to be bearing in mind. We can actually go in towards a daily time frame and take a closer look in towards another CME gap that we had in April 2025 that's yet to be filled, and we're still trading towards the upside. So it's actually likely that if we continue towards the upside in this fashion and this inverse head and shoulders continues to play out, then it's likely that we don't actually fill the CME gap anytime soon and Bitcoin just continues its trajectory towards the upside. So you can see right now, another reason why we're going to be continuing towards the upside and things are looking very bullish is the fact that we actually held this level of support that I've been talking about on the channel and we did not break below. We actually had severe rejections before and then we turned it into towards support. So the next time we hit the support level, I said until we actually break below decisively, that's where we're going to be moving towards the downside. But if we can't, then it's very, very likely this holds our support and we actually continue our trajectory towards the upside. And it looks like that's exactly what's happening right now, which is very, very good to be seeing. And you can see over here by this chart that Bitcoin is actually repeating history. We can actually see that Bitcoin has actually broken out of this trend line that we talked about on the channel, just like in 2023 and just like in 2024. And this was at the start of Q4 for both years. The horizontal orange line actually represents the 1st of October. And you can see that shortly after we actually moved towards the upside aggressively. And right now it's the 1st of October at the time of this recording. And we're actually looking like we're going to be moving towards the upside. So that's actually looking quite good for Bitcoin. We've broken from this down sloping trend line. And right now we have room to move towards the upside. Now looking at our horizontal support and resistance levels, we can see that we're quickly approaching this mid-range level that was previously support over here. And there was actually some resistance before. So it's likely that if we hit this level, we can get a small pullback and consolidate a little bit more. And if we do actually get a pullback, you want to see this 112k level actually hold a support. If that can hold a support, we do have room to move towards our range highs and then potentially new all-time highs. But yeah, if we continue to move in this fashion, since the trajectory of this pump is vertical, then it's likely we can actually break this resistance level and potentially continue towards a new range highs and potentially all-time highs. So again, it just depends on how Bitcoin treats this resistance level. If we actually smash through it, then of course you have your next target at 124k, which was previous all-time highs. And after that, there is no resistance and things are going to be moving parabolic. Now looking at this parallel channel, we highlighted on the channel and we circled it perfectly at the bottom. We said that this was going to be the area that Bitcoin is potentially going to have to hold. You're going to have to create a higher low here from this lower low over here. And then we're gonna have to come and tackle this parallel channel resistance level, and if we can do so, it's very likely we move towards the upside. In fact, it was one of my thumbnails from my previous videos, so make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you want to be getting accurate information all of the time. And you can see right now that we're actually breaking out of this resistance level, so we want to be seeing a daily candle close outside of this resistance to actually confirm the breakout, and that's where you're going to be anticipating further moves towards the upside. So Q4 is looking very, very bullish already. We're already creating historical patterns we've seen before. We're already entering with a lot of strength, so things are looking very, very good. You can see the previous two Q4s that we've had was massively bullish in 2023 and in 2024, and now in 2025 it's looking like we're going to be repeating history, so that's actually looking quite good. One reason in the longer time frames that we can actually repeat history is the fact that Bitcoin has been lagging gold. Gold has recently been at all-time highs while Bitcoin lags, but it looks like it's time for Bitcoin to catch up, and October is actually going to play out. So that's actually looking quite good, and we've actually lagged the gold price by 8 weeks, and you can see the Bitcoin's exactly following that trajectory towards the upside. So that's actually looking quite good, and you can see that gold had a little pullback before going parabolic. So we can actually look at our horizontal levels again, and we can look at this level over here, and we can see that if we can't actually break above 117,300, then potentially we can come for a little pullback and form a higher low before putting in a higher high. So if we can actually form this higher high already, then of course that's going to be massively bullish, and we're going to potentially continue towards new all-time highs. So that's the two scenarios that we've actually mapped out there, and we have gold to help us a little bit, and you can see that Bitcoin's actually following gold perfectly, and it looks like we've already marked up from that bottom phase that we actually talked about on the channel, and it's likely that we can come in towards a higher low territory, and that's where we're going to go parabolic next. So if you want to be trading for yourself, make sure to click that first link down below for WEEX. WEEX is one of the best exchanges in the industry, offering you guys a 25% discount on your trading fees and a free $100 as soon as you sign up and you bind your phone and your email. So make sure to be checking this out, because not only are you going to be getting a free $100 as soon as you sign up, you're also going to be getting a 20% deposit bonus on whatever you actually deposit, and that's going to be massive bonus right there. You can actually be depositing $10,000 for example, and you keep getting $2,000 on top. So that's actually amazing right there. You can see the rewards are up to $30,000, and of course you have examples over here, so you can see if you deposit $2,000 you can get $400 for free right there if you actually transfer it and you trade some more. So that's actually amazing right there. You can be getting a lot of bonuses, so that's up to $30,000 in total rewards, and of course you get a $300 as soon as you sign up, and a 20% deposit bonus and a 25% discount on your trading fees. So that's a lot of benefits right there, so make sure to be checking that first link down below to be claiming it. And yeah, let's get straight away in towards the next part of the video. Now looking at Ethereum, we've been grabbing our topside liquidity exactly like predicted on the channel, and you can see right now that we've actually been reclaiming our support resistance levels, and you can see we actually bounced from this horizontal level that I marked out on the channel quite a while ago, and you can see that that's exactly playing out perfectly, and we've reclaimed our first level that we talked about, and now we're running into a little bit of resistance. You can see it was previously support, and now it's potentially some resistance here, so you can expect a little bit of a pullback, but that doesn't defeat the fact that we're actually recovering quite nicely, and we've actually grabbed all the downside liquidity, and now we're going for the topside liquidity. So that's looking quite good. You can see we're reclaiming the range just like our previous two times, and we actually talked about the fact that this was going to be a bottoming area since we had a lot of liquidation coupled with negative funding rates, which was looking absolutely bullish in my opinion. And that's exactly what's been happening. We've been bouncing from that level. So make sure to, again, subscribe to the channel if you want to be getting all this information in real time. And, you know, we also talked about open interest. So open interest is essentially measuring the amount of positions open, and this came towards the downside. Open interest coming towards the downside just shows a lot of positions closing, and that just showed that a lot of people got liquidated, forced to close their positions at that bottom over there, and that's exactly why I was very bullish. So you can see as well, we actually retested our neckline for the V bottom scenario that I talked about on the medium time frame, also for Ethereum, and right now things are looking very bullish. So on a higher time frames, you can see in 2020, once we retested that V bottom neckline, we actually flew and went parabolic, and right now you can see on the lower time frames we retested it and now we're bouncing. So it's likely that we can enter this parabolic phase if we can actually continue to keep up the momentum for Ethereum. So not only are we actually creating a V bottom, as you can see over here, we're actually creating another decent and broadening wedge over here, and it's actually a right angled one where we're retesting our previous resistance that's now turning into support, and we have a bullish target at 6,400 for Ethereum, which is looking extremely good. And you can see over here that we're reclaiming a range for Ethereum. So I'm going to be waiting very closely. I'm going to be opening another trade for Ethereum very soon. So make sure to be staying tuned for that, because I think that in the longer time frames, we're going to be actually moving towards the upside and towards this bullish target. So I'm not going to be missing out on that, and I'm going to be opening the trade as soon as I see the signal. So make sure to be staying tuned for that. But yeah, with Ethereum actually moving towards the upside aggressively, you can expect your altcoins are going to be doing the same. So you can see this is the total 3 seasonality on the chart, and previously in 2023 and in 2024, this was the exact point where we actually went parabolic. So you can see October is a typical bullish month. If we look at the seasonal returns, you can also, if we look at the quarterly returns, you can see on average for Ethereum, you have a massive 21.47% return on Q4. And right now, that's going to be translating to your altcoins actually moving towards the upside. So right now, this is going to be a great opportunity to be accumulating. You can also see right here that we're going to be potentially moving towards this trend line if we actually go parabolic. And that's going to be offering a lot of gains on the table. So also, we can see that we're not in altcoin season just yet. Looking at the altcoin season index, this is actually just left Bitcoin season, and it looks like we're heading towards altcoin season. So there's still time to be accumulating and getting some trades in. So make sure to be staying subscribed and updated on the channel. And I'm going to be covering some altcoin trades that I'm going to be taking and some Ethereum trades that I'm going to be taking. Since we've reclaimed this range that I've been talking about previously, I said if you can deviate this range over here and you can confirm this is the bottom and reclaim this previous support level that's now potentially turning into towards support again, then that's the region where you can actually start to move parabolic for Ethereum with an easy invalidation below that previous low. So for me, I'm going to be looking for a position here for Ethereum. So if you're going to be looking to actually trade as well, then make sure to check that first link down below, which is the exchange that's offering you guys the cheapest fees right now. You're not going to be paying a lot of fees, and you have a lot of deposit bonuses to be grabbing if you're going to be trading yourself already. So yeah, that'll be it for me. Make sure to follow me on X to be staying up to date with all my updates here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a blessed rest of your day. Peace, guys. See ya. Bye bye.